I'm going to teach you one of those ancient teachings that I usually teach, but this one is going to teach you that there is nothing in your life that's there by accident. I hope you know, Habibi. Even you clicking on this exact video right now is not by accident. So I'll teach you something so powerful that you're going to be able to leave this video right now and then predict your future. But not only predict it, like you'll actually know it in exact details. But listen, just so you know, this right here is not like astrology or like reading the stars and all that stuff. It's none of that stuff. So this is based on some of the teachings in the Quran. And I talked about it before. We called it like the knowledge of signs. There isn't really like a name for it, but most people think they know it, but 90% of the people are just heedless about it. So look, you need to understand that stuff that happen in your life that you have zero control over, those things that most people would consider like coincidences, those things are not there by accident. Those things are actually there on purpose. So you meeting like a random person or you seeing a random event, it's there to actually teach you something. So it's literally there to either show you something that's going to happen in your future or warn you about something that might happen in the future. So look, I'll give you 3 ways to know what's going to happen to you before it happens. But once again, this stuff is not like shirk or blasphemy, none of that stuff. And you'll know what I mean. If you just watch this whole video, you'll know exactly what I mean. So the first one I called it the streets. So you do know like things that happen to you when you're traveling or when you're moving, when you're on a plane. Those things that happen to you, most of the time, those things are trying to give you a message. Like let's just say you go on a plane and then you meet someone random. You might think that while you're meeting them, they're not really teaching you anything. They're not really giving you any message. They themselves don't even know that they're giving you a message. But then later on, in the future, this is always going to happen. In the future, you'll look back at it and then you'll just be like, that exact person literally gave me like a glimpse of what's happening to me right now, which is the future. So let me give you an example, like a story that actually happened to me. So at the time, I was still a student. I was learning biomedical science, and I was just coming back from campus. So at the time, bro, I literally had like nothing in my bank, like literally $0. But I would take the bus home with whatever money my dad gave me. And then this time it was nighttime. So I go and I sit in the bus, and I go and sit upstairs. Now listen, the bus was not full. There were a bunch of seats that were still empty. But I'm sitting down, and then I hear this woman that came. She came a bit late. I hear her coming, and then out of all the seats that were there, she decides to come and sit on the seat that's right next to me. And I actually had my bag on that seat. So she comes and she's like, can I please sit here? And I'm looking around, I'm like, there's so many other empty seats. But then I'm like, okay, whatever. I was being nice to her. So I took away my bag, and I was just thinking, I'm like, I just have a feeling that right now, I'm gonna, like, it's almost like Allah is trying to show me something that is gonna be helping me in the future. Because there's no way that this random woman, who looks like she's never even been on the bus, out of all the empty seats, she decides to sit right next to me. So she came and she sat, and then throughout the whole bus ride, we were talking, and I could see it. Like, I could actually see that this woman is actually enjoying the convo that we're having. But then later on, she's just like, listen, there's something about you. And I was just like, oh, what do you mean? She's like, can you please tell me your birth dates? So I give her my birth date, and then she pauses, and she's like, you do know in the future, you're going to have a big influence on a lot of people. You are going to have a huge responsibility on your shoulder, but this exact responsibility is what's going to make you rich. It's going to make you rich beyond what you can expect. So I'm like, thank you, but like, what makes you say that? And for some reason, she just didn't want to answer. So at the time, I'm telling you, I actually had like no money in the bank, bro. So this woman telling me such a thing, it's almost like I couldn't really believe it. Like, I knew I was going to be something proper in the future, but I just couldn't believe. She was like, you'll have a big influence on a lot of people in the future. And like, fast forward to now, and I've been gifted with this YouTube channel where some people just come and like hear me speak about stuff. So till now, I look back at that moment when this woman and by the way, I haven't even seen her ever since, but I look back at that and I was like, that was such a beautiful sign from Allah. Because at the time, it's like, I was trying this whole online business thing, and it's like, I almost wanted to give up on everything. So I thought that was actually very beautiful. But listen, this doesn't mean that every time you meet someone, they're going to be like, oh, you know, in the future, you're going to be doing this, this, and that. That's not what's going to happen. Sometimes what's going to happen is that you'll meet someone random, and then you'll never see them again, but that random person is in the same situation as you, in the same situation as what you're going to be in the future. Like, for example, you might be super broke, and then you'll meet someone who has like an apartment that's so nice, a car that's nice, like a company that's nice in a specific city, and then you, in the future, randomly, you'll have those exact same things to you. So you'll actually own the same exact things that that person owned. So I'm telling you, like any random encounter that you get is not there by accident. It's there to teach you something. Like for example, so I go to this gym that's like a bit expensive in the area, and this one time I saw this guy that's like going viral on TikTok. At some point he even like made a video with Andrew Tate, and then he just like I literally just see him there in the gym, in the same gym as me. So I look at him, and at the time, by the way, like I didn't really have like a big following on YouTube. I look at him, and I'm like, this guy looks so familiar. So I go up to him, and by the way, I don't even know the guy's name on TikTok or in real life. So I go up to him and I was like, excuse me, bro, are you that guy from TikTok that's going viral? And then he just looks at me, he's like, yeah, man, I am. He could have been literally anybody, but I'm just like, oh, that's cool, man. It's nice. It's nice to see you here. And then I just leave. But what's so funny is that same encounter is like, now is what I'm having in my own life too. So it's like whenever I'm like working out alone, some people come up to me and they're like, wait, are you that guy from YouTube, Muhammad? And then it's like, I just get shy and stuff. So I'm like, oh, do you want to meet my brother too? But it's so funny because it's almost like that situation that I had with that guy. It's like Allah was showing me that this exact situation, you're going to start having this exact situation in the future too. And also think about it, bro. Like think about it. If you're driving on the street and then you see an accident, that accident that you saw, 20 minutes later, that accident is going to be gone. People are going to be leaving. So think about it. It's like, why would Allah make you leave your home in that exact time so you can see the accident in that exact time? While there are people that are going to be coming, like driving from the same road 20 minutes after, and they're going to see no accident. So why is it that Allah showed you the accident and everybody else that saw the accident, but then 20 minutes after, no one else saw the accident? Why is that? It's because everybody that was seeing the accident, Allah was trying to teach them something, either give them wisdom, warn them about something, or give them a lesson that they need in that exact moment. And then the people that went through the same road that didn't see the accident, these people were not ready for that lesson in that exact moment in their life. So do you get it? It's like things that happen randomly are not random. They're always there to give you a glimpse of your future. So just know that these coincidences or synchronicities, they're always there for a reason. And Habibi, like almost always you'll see the signs and then you won't really like give them much attention, but then in the future you'll look back at your life and you're just going to be like, that same sign that I saw back in the day is what's happening right now. So think about it. It's like, this is the way that Allah works. This is the way that Allah makes the universe work. So if you're understanding this whole thing, now you can use this whole thing, look at your life, see the random things that are happening, see the coincidences that are happening, and just realize this is what's going to be in the future. This is what's going to happen in the future. But then anyway, the second method to know your future is through visions. Not dreams, but visions. So listen, visions are similar to dreams, but they're different. So if you're sleeping and then you get a vision, most of the time, this vision that Allah has given you is basically showing you what's going to happen in the future. But listen, it's so important to know the difference between dreams and visions. And by the way, this is directly from the Quran, just so you know, because like Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he saw a vision with 11 stars bowing towards him and even the sun and the moon. So this whole idea about like you getting visions is something that's real. And some of you guys are going to be like, wait, hold on a minute. This is like only for a prophet. It's not just for a prophet, man. So even the king himself, he had a vision. So visions is something that you can use to predict the future. And I'll show you an example of my own life too. But listen, you gotta know the difference between a dream and a vision. So for example, usually a dream is like from the devil himself. So let's just say you're just living at home, right? And then someone finished your ice cream. So you open the fridge and your favorite ice cream is just empty. And this pisses you off, especially because like specifically you told them, don't eat the strawberry ice cream. But anyway, so like you go to sleep and then you start to get a dream of you fighting the person that finished your ice cream and then you beat them up. So just know that this is a dream. This is not a vision. So like, don't be just going and fighting them just because they ate your ice cream and you were like, oh man, I just got a vision. That's not a vision. That's only a dream. Another example is that if you're just like watching like a horror movie and then you go to sleep, so you start getting nightmares, those nightmares or dreams are dreams. They're not visions. But a vision, it's also going to happen while you're asleep, but it's going to happen in a way where when you wake up, you're going to be, in a way, it's like you're going to be shocked or like in awe or just thinking it's like, what is that mystery or mysterious vision that I just had? And listen, it's not going to come in a way where it's scaring you. It's going to come in a way where it's like, you're thinking it's like there's like a deeper meaning behind that vision that I had. So for example, the other day I was actually sleeping and then I had a vision, right? So I was in the car with my parents and then like I rolled down the window and this snake just jumps in the car and it tries to bite my parents. So I take this snake and I fight it, and then I throw it. But then sadly, I also got bit by the snake. And then it's like I destroyed the snake, I killed it, but then I'm like, oh crap, I actually got hurt. What the heck? It actually it stung me a little bit. So I'm thinking of I woke up and I'm like, this literally could have been like a vision where Allah's trying to show me that I'm gonna be helping my parents with something, but it's just gonna sting a little bit when I help them. But I'm gonna be helping them in a thing where it's like a big problem that if they don't fix it, they're gonna be destroyed. Just like a snake, because if a snake bit them, they're gonna be destroyed. And bro, what's so funny is that this is the exact same thing that happened in real life, by the way, not in a dream, but in real life. And it's it literally happened in the same exact way. Obviously, I can't go over the details because it's personal, but I'm telling you, this is the exact same thing that happened. And what's so cool is that I knew this was gonna happen, so because I had the vision, right? So I just kind of had to prepare for it and accept it. And that's exactly what I did. And by the way, even in the story, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, the king himself got a vision, and then when Prophet Yusuf interpreted the whole vision to him, he was able to save the entire city. So it's important, if you're sleeping and then you get a vision, Habibi, go and write down that vision. And trust me, you'll know the difference between a vision and a dream, because a vision, it's gonna leave you thinking. It's gonna leave you thinking, what was that whole vision about? But just know, that vision is almost always a glimpse of what's gonna happen to you in the future. But anyway, so the third method to predict the future or to know the future in details. So here it says, we have certainly sent down to you a book in which is your mention. Fihi dhikrukum. So this exact book, this whole Quran thing, if you're a Muslim, this whole Quran book, it actually has your mention. Listen, Habibi, you do know any problem that you encounter in life, there is a mention of that in the Quran. So all the names that you see in the Quran, all the people that are mentioned in the Quran, all of them are talking about you. For example, if you're a woman and you can't have babies, well, don't you know that exact situation is actually mentioned in the Quran and the solution is there? And if you're a man or a woman, but you're down at your rock bottom and you're completely broke and you're trying to start from scratch, well, don't you know that exact situation is actually in the Quran and the solution is there? And if you're a man who has a bunch of things and it's you're wealthy and everything that you want, you own it, well, don't you know that exact situation is in the Quran itself. So just know that your whole life story, all of it is in the Quran. So you literally have some of the glimpses that you have in your life. It's in the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Some of the glimpses of your life is in the story of Prophet Musa. Some of it is in the wife of Fir'aun. Some of it is in the wife of Prophet Zakaria. Or wait, was Zakaria a prophet? I actually don't know. Don't quote me on that. And by the way, I made a whole separate video on this whole thing. So it's if you're completely broke, it's actually mentioned in the Quran what to do. So Prophet Musa, when he was completely broke, you could see exactly what he did. All he did is that, first of all, he stopped thinking. He just kept walking towards any direction that Allah was guiding him in his heart. And then he found some people, and then he's just you know what? Let me just go and help these people without asking for anything in return. So if you're broke, that's exactly what you do. Stop thinking, stop using your brain, and just do things. Literally do things. Place one foot in front of the other and just keep walking. And then when you see people in need, go and help them without asking for anything in return. And by the way, just know that the whole universe, it works in a way where it's like an algorithm. So there are certain things that you do and it's going to give you a certain results, and obviously other things that you do that are going to give you a whole different results. So if you're in the situation where it's you're completely broke, well, I just told you, stop thinking, place one foot over the other or in front of the other, and try to give as much value to people without asking for anything in return. You see a problem happening, well, go and fix it. And then what's going to happen is that if you do that, you'll notice that Allah's going to give you either a job or money or just wealth from where you can never expect. But then what's going to happen if you don't do that? Well, the opposite is going to happen. You literally end up homeless. You'll end up with no job, no money, nothing. And it's so crazy. It's just the whole way that Allah makes the universe work. It's so crazy because it's so precise. And trust me, bro, there are no accidents. So literally, look at your life. Look at your whole life right now and see what's happening in your life. And once again, just remember, it's the universe is an algorithm. There's going to be certain buttons that you press that are going to give you certain results. And all of those buttons are in the Quran. And by the way, what happens when you stray away from this algorithm that you've been given, or you've been literally told what to do in any situation or any problem in life? Well, just look at this. It's here it says, بل أتيناهم بذكرهم فهم عن ذكرهم معرضون. We have brought them their message, but they from their message are turning away. So the Quran has your message. The Quran tells you exactly what to do in any situation you're in. And then once you stray away from that, then that is when you'll see nothing nothing in your life is working.